Right, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, and for all of you guys who are tuning in right now, we're presenting to you the Hearthstone Standoff, the third series between Impunity and ManaSurge. I am Babael. Joining me is Jerds. Jerds, how are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Oh man, I'm doing great, and looking forward to finishing off this series tonight. I'm just gonna say, it's gonna be a little bit epic.
Alright, nice. I'm actually going to do a little bit of rundown through the rules first before we start this game.
Yeah.
For all of you guys who don't understand what's Hearthstone Standoff, it's very simple. It's basically 9 heroes shared between a team of 4 players. Each player will have the opportunity to only play, as in to lose twice. If you lose twice, you are eliminated. The first team to completely eliminate the entire lineup from the opposing squad will win the standoff. That said, all 9 heroes being shared also means that if a particular player does lose with, say, for example, Mage would then be banned from the entire team for this particular series, which means that no more Mage. They are gonna have to come up with something else to try and counter the current standing winner. So that say, we are kind of left at a little bit of an awkward position last night, with both Manjuu as well as Allura from the respective teams a little bit well, jammed up there in the 1-1 situation where no one knows who is going to win this next one. But we know for sure that Manjuu is going to have to be playing his Mage because he used Mage in the games yesterday, and Allura just lost with the Warlock, which by all opinion there was a lot of rage from the Singaporean side as to us asking him why did he not play the correct cards, but that's still fine. That said, now going to show you guys the heroes that have been eliminated already through the course of yesterday, and it looks to be a pretty exciting list of heroes. Actually, the whole box is going to go away there. The Warrior is gone as well. We have the Rogue lost from Impunity side. Last but not least, the Warlock. And that's the 3 classes that they have lost already. With ManaSurge, a whole chunk is gone as well. The Warrior, the Shaman, we have the Priest, I think it is the Paladin as well as the Warlock. All 5 classes completely eradicated. They're left with just 4 to choose from right now. That said, Jerds, what is a pretty good counter for ManaSurge to bring in to try and counter the Mage?
Yeah, look, you made a really good point there, saying losing some really key classes. Strong ones like the Warlock, which really can play any role. Countering Mage, though, I don't know. It's tough. Mage is the perfect mid-range, you know. So can't really bring in a Warrior because that's already knocked out, or a Warlock or a Rogue. Maybe it'll be just a good mid-range Hunter. We are still pre-nerf before Unleash the Hounds goes up to 3 mana, so you can squeeze a lot of value against that kind of a Mage. That kind of a Mage does want to have usually 2 or 3 minions on the board. It is a mix of board control as well as spell damage. So just by virtue of the fact that they do need to do some of the damage with minions, maybe the Hunter can edge it in. And neither of these guys have played Hunter yet, neither of these teams. Yes. So it would not surprise me to see a Hunter.
I'm very impressed with the fact that both teams have not used the Hunter just yet, and it is one hell of a weapon, one hell of a class, and of course there's a lot of debate about that, but it's still fine. That said, presenting to you the 2 players from both sides, it's Allura from ManaSurge that will have the heavy responsibility to try and catch up here. There's still, just to say, if he does lose this next game here, he's completely eliminated already because of the way stuff happened from yesterday. And the next player will be the legendary Manjuu46, who is also the first EHL 1 Season 1 champion. And Manjuu is so far doing a great job. He's just the 2nd player coming from Impunity there. So we're looking at some really good Hearthstone action. That's it, Jerds. I think you are correct. It is indeed going to be that Hunter.
Yeah, look, I'm not surprised. It's a really good choice, and I think anyone can do it, and with any class, Allura can do it. So we can see here he's leaving tracking, which is a very standard turn 1 sort of play to leave for the Hunter. Especially a rushdown Hunter that we can see he's playing here because he's got the Arcane Shot. You know, that's probably a face Hunter. He's probably going to go for face, and that kind of confirms it. We see the Abusive Sergeant there, adding +2 attack for a minion. Just allows for that burst damage. So don't be surprised if we see a lot of attacking the face here by Allura.
Yes, for sure. And that's it. This does look like the face Hunter, like you said, and it's kind of a little bit affected by this following patch that's gonna hit us very soon, and that means that UTH is gonna be up to 3 mana. I think that the face Hunter is one of those that generally, you know, you need the UTH to be at 2 because you want to run double UTH. It's not gonna be possible in the early stages, following that little bit of a nerf there. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. That the nerf does affect all Hunter decks. You know, like you cannot run Hunter without Unleash the Hounds card. It's just too powerful. Going from 2 to 3 is, believe it or not, actually a very huge nerf. It's still playable. Both decks will still be playable, but you just won't be seeing that huge synergy that you normally see. So interesting choice. He's decided to put down the 2/1, but foregoing the ability to add +2 damage. But that's not a bad move, and a really sweet counter with the Mana Worm, one of the strongest creatures in the game, and straight up increased with an Arcane Missiles. And does he shoot down the Sergeant? Yes. So now 3/3 on the board. Board control is to Manjuu. What a great counter straight up for the Mage.
Yeah, exactly. Now the thing here is for Allura, he does have only 2 Starving Buzzard as well as 1 Timber Wolf in the hand, plus 1 Tracking as well. Those are not cards that you want at this point in time, because other than Tracking, the other 3 cards are practically not playable, given the fact that they only have 1 health, and the ping from the Mage is going to kill it.
Yeah. Look, and just going back again to what we were saying about Unleash the Hounds and that nerf, you know, so much of the power of that is that it allows for huge card draw, because you combo it with dropping that Starving Buzzard. We see 2 of them in the hand here for Allura now. He didn't just use it, but he's probably waiting for that Unleash the Hounds so he can really get a big card draw. And just the fact that when that UTH goes up to 3 mana, it's going to be so much harder to draw those cards, you know.
Yeah.
But here we go. Here we got lots of weenie battles happening. Ping to sort of take down the Lepinome and stuff. But Mage is in a good position, I think, so far. But you just can't count out the Hunter with the double Starving Buzzard. That's a lot of card draw potential.
Yeah, for sure. The game is far from over for sure now, but well, Allura, he needs to find a way to counter the 3/2 and the 4/3 on board right now. And if he still doesn't have a good way to counter that, he is effectively going to be a lot of trouble. But he top decks a Wolf Rider. I don't see any other choices here except for tracking Wolf Rider. And he's actually going to go tracking here. Gets Explosive Trap, Wolf Rider, Arcane Shot. That's a little bit of a tough decision to make here. Explosive Trap's pretty good, but if he does play Explosive Trap, he will not be able to address the 4/3 that's slowly growing. And the more this drags on, it's only going to deal even more damage, seeing how the Sorcerer's Apprentice really just nerfs a lot of the mana cost required for the spells in the hand of Manjuu. I guess he has got some tough decisions to make right now.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see he's thinking about it there. He's been sitting on that screen for a while, and so he should be. What would I choose here? The problem is none of these are super ideal. I would go for the Explosive Trap, just because what we know for a fact is Manjuu is playing a Rushdown Mage. Interestingly enough, too, because last night we didn't see a Rushdown Mage. We saw that Control Mage with a bit of Antonitis Fireball flinging. So this is definitely Rush v Rush. And who rushed hardest wins.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty surprising here, because Manjuu actually got a little bit of a side decking action there. It's allowed completely, so I'm not worried about it, but it seems like Allura just got outwitted there in a little bit of a game in which is it aggro or control question. But now it seems like Fire Blast, that's the hero power, by the way, going to the face of Hunter.
And look, I think that's... Look, what he's on the ropes for sure. He has to do something, and he can't even use that Eagle Horn Bow to attack because he's frozen by the Frostbolt that just hit him. So he's kind of out of options. I think he's forced to use Explosive Trap, and he's probably even forced to drop a Buzzard and draw a card or something like that. But to be honest, I think he's on the end of the ropes, and Manjuu just had too much steamroll at the start, and once the snowball starts rolling, it just gets bigger and bigger, you know, with these sort of decks. So, I think it's a very interesting strategic decision by Manjuu.
He top
That's
decks
the answer.
Yeah, Unleash the Hound, he gets it.
Yeah, that's excellent for him, and kind of a bit of a lucky draw. But so be it. And that'll allow him to knock off at least one of those threats. Unfortunately, he didn't draw a Hunter's Mark, so he can't drop both of the threats.
Yeah, but he'll still do it anyway.
To be honest, he got lucky even by drawing the Unleash the Hound. So, but there we go. Straight up with the Fireball to the face. Mage is so strong, and Fireball the greatest utility out there. Love it. GG to Manjuu as the Mage.
Very nicely played there by Manjuu from Team Impunity. Now ManaSurge is just down to just the last surviving player, and that would be Manjuu46, the EHL Season 1 champion.
Now tell
I
me
do
about
believe that-
Manjuu46 because he's got quite the reputation, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, he does. He does. He is actually the first champion of the EHL season 1.
Nice.
Basically, how tedious the process is that we have a total of 64 players signing up. We group them in various groups, and after that, we just try our best to sieve out. And we have only the top player from each group going to the playoffs. We have 2 cycles. He's from cycle 1. He lost to Impunity's Korea in the first cycle finals, but in the overall season finale, he took it down very quickly and nicely. In fact, going 0-3 with the Rogue deck, and in the winners bracket finals. All of these VODs are on our YouTube page, so you can just relive some of the action there very nicely. But Manjuu46 generally also did very well post EHL, as in last week and the second series of the standoff. I think they played against Spectral, and single-handedly he took 4 games of Spectral. They were at a 5-3 position, but once he came in, he made it into a overwhelming 6-5, sorry, for ManaSurge, and ManaSurge was the one behind, so he just single-handedly saved the entire team there. Today, will we see the same situation? Not so clear, but it is definitely very hard to win not just one game off Manjuu, but he will have the heavy duty of carrying his entire team by winning not just Manjuu, but Korea with 2 games, and Trinity, the captain of Impunity, with further 2 games. So that's 5 games. Can he beat his personal best? I don't know, man.
It's a big number, to be honest. You know, like if you're playing against